Hello, darts fans, and welcome to the Modus Super Series. We've been looking forward to Group B all week long because of who is in the group and who could have been in the group. We know who's in the group tonight, and Chris Mason is sitting with me. We'll get on to Group B in due course because it is very exciting. But Group C this afternoon, it was a fascinating dynamic because Adrian Gray got out of the traps, but by the end, he was caught by quite a few people.
Yeah, we felt that it was going to be a very tight group. We were unsure how Richie was going to respond after a very disappointing 3 days, but he was a surprise package, as was Adrian for me. I know he's always done well here and always made it through to the Saturday night, but it was the manner in which he started the day. He looked very, very comfortable. Faded towards the back end of the day. We'll probably get a chance to have a chat with him tomorrow and find out exactly what was going on, but yeah, credit to Richie Burnett, played lovely all day. And the surprise package for us, I think, is Paul Dawson. We didn't know too much about him. We did as much digging as we could do, and you found some great stats on the fact that just pre-COVID he did go to Q school and then seemed to not bother for a few years. But the last couple of years, been mainly focused on the ADC.
So that's what we've seen this afternoon. Let's have a look at the breakdown for the week because Tommy Morris is sitting at home with his feet up, waiting to see who's going to be in his way on Saturday night. But you've got Group C from 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon at the start of the second double session of the week, of 3, because we have one on Saturday as well. But Robinson, Bialecki, they graduated to Group B from Group A after failing to catch Morris. Lishman, Springer and Duff. Now, when it comes to these 3 players, seriously, these are proper dart players. Lishman's had a 9-darter here. We've known for quite a while that NIKO Springer was going to make his debut, and we know a lot about Neil, but NIKO Springer, he is quite an addition to this week.
Yeah, he's an exciting talent, isn't he? He's a player that many have spoke of, and you can see why. I mean, the throw's lovely and languid, very little effort. Head nice and still, slight walk, but the dart's already gone on dart 3. But he's a real rhythmic thrower, and you were showing me some footage of that incredible 9-darter he had in Germany, and probably one of the most remarkable legs I've ever seen because there wasn't a missed dart from either player. So that shows you where his talent is, and having looked at some older footage, his throw actually looks better now.
Yeah, I agree with that. But we'll get onto NIKO when he makes his debut. He's going to be up against Rhys Robinson tonight to get cracking. I mean, talk about a bit of a baptism of fire. Rhys Robinson has won 9 games straight coming into Group B. I don't think that's ever happened before, but he really has impressed the last couple of days.
Yeah, he's been on a real hot run. Started off a little bit sedately, but ultimately sort of got into a groove, and it was a groove that no one else could match. I think he's a super talented player. He's done some amazing things here. You call him the human highlight reel, and well, rightly so, because he always gives us something to smile about. And yeah, it's going to be some welcome to the Super Series for NIKO.
We've been speaking a lot about NIKO for weeks. We've spoken a lot about Rhys the last couple of days. But we've got to give Neil Duff his credit. He's won 4 weekly titles. If he was to win this week, he would equalise Steve West with 5. Have we spoken about him enough?
I don't think we need to. His resume speaks volumes, doesn't it? And unlike in other times where he may be coming in slightly cold, been playing in a couple of seniors events, playing darts elsewhere, of course. And listen, I know how well he's playing. I played him in the first round of the match play and pretty much threw everything at him, and it still wasn't enough. So he's going to come here. Although ultimately the results in the seniors didn't go his way, he knows he's playing well, and listen, a confident Neil Duff is a dangerous player.
Any idea where Neil will be in the betting then?
Yeah, he's not at the top of the betting, which is surprising. NIKO Springer's a big favourite to win this group.
Well, there we go. NIKO Springer, he's the favourite, followed by Rhys Robinson, who obviously is on a bit of a hot streak here. Bialecki in the middle is probably about right, but Duff at 6-1?
Yeah, that's a bit of an insult, really. I'm not sure. That may be coming off the back of the results from the seniors, rather than looking at how he played in the seniors. I think he averaged 97 against me, and listen, every element of his game looked okay. And of course, here it's not the jeopardy. You've got multiple matches to get it right, and I think he'll get it right. I can see Neil Duff getting through that group.
Well, Neil Duff will have to wait. We'll see him in game number 3. But in game number 1, we've got Tommy Lishman coming back. He has had a 9-darter on this stage, and he almost fell over on the hockey when he hit that one with the glee that he garnered from that perfect leg. But he's up against Sebastian Bialecki in his first game tonight, and we caught up with Tommy before everything got cracking tonight. Tommy, great to have you back. How are you feeling ahead of the 2-day challenge that you've got ahead of you the next couple of days?
Can't wait. Been looking forward to it for a long time.
How's the form then? Tell us more about what's happened with you since you were last here.
To be fair, social media blew up after last time I was here. Things have gone good. I've picked up a management company. I've picked up a sponsor for points. Everything's gone well. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed playing. I've enjoyed playing more in the last few months than I probably have for years.
That bodes pretty well for the next couple of nights then, doesn't it? Because your group is pretty tricky.
Yeah, it does. This is the hardest group I've played in, I think. I've had some hard groups every time, but this... I mean, everybody that comes here is good, but I know I'm the underdog a little bit in there. They're all very well established.
Yeah, but you're the one who's hit the 9 darter. I know Sebastian's hit one as well, but yours was quite recently.
Yeah, and that's... I mean, if we can repeat, it'd be great, but just go out there and do what I do. I'm doing all right. I'm playing all right. I'm always playing all right, I think. It's just on the night. It really is on the night.
We've already got someone from Yorkshire with a bit of a strawberry blonde thing going on in Champions Week. How much would you like to join Tom Sykes?
Yeah, that'd be great. I've known Tom a long time. Tom's absolutely fantastic. He's the second best ginger in Yorkshire. I don't care what people say. But yeah, he's class and it would be great to join him. He's doing unbelievable things at the minute. He really has. Tom was this good 10 years ago. And now he's finally showing it to everybody how good he actually is. Yes.
Well, we know how good you are, so have a fantastic couple of nights, Tommy.
Thank you very much. Cheers, pal.
Tom Sykes is the second best ginger player in Yorkshire. He said it. We're just quoting him. But Tommy Lishman cannot be underestimated. He's had some fabulous times on this stage. But he's only made one Saturday night so far in his Super Series career. As for his opponent, Sebastian Bialecki, who had a steady time of it over the course of the first 3 days and only just squeaked his way into Group B, he's got a brilliant record. But this is the 29-year-old from Hull, and we've got 2 Hull representatives tonight because Rhys Robinson is from that part of the world as well.
He is.
7 out of 7 in getting to Saturdays is Bialecki, and this would be a fine swan song potentially because he's leaving us for the Pro Tour at the end of the season. This will be his last weekly campaign, but he would love a second crack at Champions Week after winning in a previous series.
Yeah, of course, it's the battle of the
First
9 darter.
It's Tommy to throw first.
Hitters.
Game on.
If you were to get the 12 players from this afternoon and this evening together, that's actually 11, isn't it?
100.
I beg your pardon. There would be 3 very happy players saying, oh, I've hit a 9 darter. Have you hit one? Oh, actually, I've hit one as well. And then Adam Mull would say, I've hit one.
100.
Yeah, don't forget about me.
And we can't forget about Tommy. He is a very talented player.
108.
And if you needed proof of it, there you go.
Are we going to have a Tommy off on Saturday night? Had the Battle of the Gingers and have the Battle of the Tommies.
57.
He is looking good.
100.
Another one with a very relaxed throw. Love the angle of entry of the dart.
Very upright, but it lends itself to a lot of maximums.
Yeah.
That's what Tommy's game's all about. As for Sebastian,
94.
it's all about hitting
Tommy
88
require
averages and about 35%
121.
of his doubles, because that's what he does all the time.
Doesn't need to go, but does have a go.
77.
He's feeling fruity.
He's got a few tricks up his sleeve, has Lishman. In fact, when he hit a 170 finish on this stage a few months back, he was christened
99.
as Tommy Big Fish
Tommy
Man.
require 44.
Double top for Motown.
4.
Was the wrong side of
Sebastian, you
that barrel.
require 150.
Well, now, if this was Reese, be looking out for 3 balls.
$60. Tommy,
You
you
don't
require
suspect-
40.
That Tommy will miss again.
Game
And he
shot of
doesn't.
First leg. Tommy Lishman.
He's a very dangerous player, and he understands just how hard this group is.
Second leg. It's Sebastian.
That
to throw
doesn't say
first.
to me
Game on.
that he doesn't think he can qualify. I think it says to him that he's going to have to be aware of the threat all 8 games he plays.
Yeah, and some players enjoy that challenge, don't they? They
140.
They enjoy looking at a group like that and thinking, I tell you what, fair play if I can come through this one.
That's exactly the right mindset. Heart of the group.
57.
If you qualify, your confidence should be better than ever.
Absolutely.
You think about the Grand Slam of Darts, for example, when they were talking about Group H with
84.
Nyman, with Van Veen. If you're Van Veen, your confidence should be sky high because you topped it.
81.
And then he goes and beats Ryan Joyce 10-2 tonight.
Yeah, if you are joining us from watching the Grand Slam, or you've got us on your device, welcome along to the action. Yeah, what a meaner.
40.
Getting past Vandenberg after Dimitri had over a dozen darts to get it done, but Van Veen was irresistible, and Luke Littler showed immense bottling class
43.
to get the better of De Decker. But De Decker will be kicking himself. He had control of that match, and that typical horrible whistling started, and there you go.
100.
But credit to Littler, he was, well, fairly unplayable towards the back end.
140. Sebastian, you require
For me,
136.
lost in legs 15 and 16 for De Decker. He had darts in both.
Yeah, he'll probably say the same once the dust settles. This is a really good visit from Sebastian. Typically him,
96.
patient, never panics, just does the right things 99% of the time. He very rarely makes any sort of tactical errors.
140.
He's just
Sebastian, you
rock solid, isn't
require
he?
40.
I do feel he's going to have to find another gear next year, but that may come in that environment. It's very much a sink or swim environment. 5-5 for a level game.
35.
Oh dear.
Tommy, you require 40.
Yeah, that last start wasn't a very good one. Tommy can swoop. How was he on 10s?
30.
Not quite
Sebastian, you
there.
require
On the wire.
5.
Wire, pants on fire. And it's 2-2 for the pull.
Three.
I'm really surprised he didn't go
Tommy, you
left on the
require
ocky there
10.
to try and open it up.
Agreed.
Game
And
shot
that
on
is
the
a 2-0
second
lead
leg.
for Lishman.
Tommy
That is a break of throw that he didn't expect to get. Now, the thing about that dart for
Third
Bialecki,
leg,
if you
it's Tommy to throw first.
see the way his
Game
darts
on.
sit, if you block it low, then go left, you can actually under-deliver that dart just a smidgen,
83.
and then it will slide off the barrel and go upwards. It's called a skid. You can try and float it over the top, but with longer darts like this, it's more difficult.
100.
There you can see what Tommy's doing.
140.
Sees that first dart go in, and he just says, right, I'm going to attack that and throw towards the flight. And it works a lot. But here, you can see Bialecki, it just leans a little bit further to the right. So if he goes
96.
left on a 2-2 block, he can actually open up quite a lot of that bed.
Yeah, you can see from this angle how his darts do
140.
sit up. Where with Seb's, you can see they're a lot flatter.
$83. Tommy, you
And
require
that was not using
138.
the open part of the bed. That was just a replicating dart 2.
If Sebastian wasn't in trouble about 2 minutes ago,
98.
he is now.
Anderson currently leads Bunting 2-1 in the early stages of that one.
100. Tommy, you require 40.
This could be 3-0.
Game shot on the third leg.
Well,
Tommy Lishman.
this is the ideal start, isn't it?
Perfect.
This
Plus
group,
3.
it's simply
Fourth
put
flag,
as
it's Sebastian
truncated
to throw
compared to
first.
everything else. It's a very
Game on.
different dynamic in Group B to the other two groups this week.
Yeah, there's a lot more explosive players in this one. Didn't really see too many
100.
bagels in Group C, but you may see a few in this one.
That was probably the shock of the day.
Yeah, the one bagel that we did have.
140.
Yeah, David Davis getting a 4-0 victory over 80 Gray. That was a result that we didn't fully comprehend. I don't think we do right now.
100.
Maybe even Adrian doesn't. But I'm sure by the time they play again in Game 2 tomorrow, things will be a bit clearer.
45.
Unlike the current chances of trying to pick who's going to qualify.
Not a clue. Even Johan Brouwer at the foot of the table has still got a chance.
100.
I've seen funnier things happen.
Well, haven't we ever? We've seen someone at the foot of this group
100.
lose all 4 matches and come back the next night and go on and win the tournament.
And what about Romeo Gerbevats last week? He was fourth going into night 2. He ends up winning the group. And that does not
54.
happen very often at all. Wow, how has that gone in?
Knit one, pearl one. For our younger viewers. that's-
128. Sebastian, you
knitting.
require 147.
So Tommy has a chance to win by 4 legs to 0. Thanks to that miraculous second dart and a
100.
brilliant third.
You require 88.
It's either going to be double 14 or the bull. Double 14.
74.
Just a bit cagey on the
Sebastian, you
sevens.
require
Yeah,
47.
didn't really go all out at that one. It was a bit tight. Double 16 for Seb.
Game shot on the fourth
Didn't
leg.
panic
Sebastian
once
Bialecki.
again.
May just be a consolation prize.
Fifth flag.
And
It's
because they
Tommy
only
to
have
throw
4
first.
games tonight and
Game
tomorrow,
on.
every time you can limit the damage, you just got to keep trying. We've seen people lose out in Group B
91.
by leg difference, legs won. And this will be the last fixture when it comes to day 2. I wonder what's going to be on the line in that one,
Going to be something
100.
you would have thought.
especially when you've got Springer on debut against Robinson next. I mean, what's not to like about that?
140.
One of the best young players in the world who's never played here before against one of the most explosive players we've ever seen here. You couldn't really ask for a better match than that.
60.
I'm going to stop building it up. Just in case.
Yeah, just in case it's a 70-odd average between them.
I don't think it will be, though.
No.
81.
Big lead. $152 points ahead.
55.
retains a big advantage. And Lishman, who has had 2 darts to win this match, he wants to get this done in 5 legs now. Should go back upstairs, really.
59.
Sensible. Needs 2 trebles to get to a finish to have any sort of hope.
100.
But that hope is withering,
Tommy, you
withering
require
away.
130. 58.
He's trebleless. So Bialecki's not out of this if he can leave himself on a 2-digit number here. That's a great last start.
Tommy, you require 72.
As you say, he may only get 1 at a double.
He gets 2 again. This time it's double 6. The 4th different double he's had for the match. And that's the one he
Shot
hits.
And the match, Tommy Lishman.
It's a very good start for Tommy. He's all smiles. And he should be, because this group is going to have some turmoil. He's off the stage in a flash. And he takes Bolt out with a very good display. Over 92 the average. He'd like to do that on average for every game he plays. He might need something like that to be in the top 3 over the first night or 2. So when we come back, it is that game where we'll have debutant NIKO Springer up against Mr. Must-See, Rhys Robinson. It's been a long time coming, but finally, NIKO Springer is in the building. Super exciting talent from Germany, one of the most vibrant and emerging nations in world darts over the last 10 to 15 years. They've had some great talents, including Max Hopp, Martin Schindler, the two-time European Tour champion from this year. Gabriel Clemens, the former semi-finalist at the World Championship. But trust me, this guy can play it. He's only 24. He's very rangy. He's tall. He's very clever. And he's a handful. But then again, so is Reece Robinson. And he's been around a while. And he's seen people like NIKO Springer come and go. And that's what makes this game so enticing. We're going to see them play it twice over the next couple of days. I don't know about you, Mace, but sign me up.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm fascinated. I've only watched.
First leg, it's NIKO.
I was going to say tape of him, but that's old
Game
school.
on.
Yeah, just on YouTube, and I'm interested to see how he's going to handle the occasion.
78.
But he's got a real relaxed throw.
I remember when he first came to the European Tour
45.
via the Home Nation qualifiers, and we all thought, there's something about this young man.
100.
He doesn't mess around. He's got a laser-like focus. And he's been a handful for plenty of players over the last 4 or 5 years. But things have started to
58.
churn a little bit over the last couple of years. He made the German Super League final, where he lost to Florian Hempel.
140.
No shame there.
That was a really interesting match because it didn't end with kind words. Florian went to the Worlds.
134.
NIKO pressed the pause button and said, okay, I'll lose this battle. Well, let's see what happens in the future.
95.
Yeah, we have been. I mean, Martin Schindler and, of course, Gabriel are the current ones. Max was the first one to really make a breakthrough, but
100.
there was plenty of
NIKO, you
German
require
players back
88.
in the day when I was playing, people like Michael Rosler and Brun Roth and
63. Reese, you require 164.
All fairness to Michael Rosenauer, but NIKO Springer at the age of 24 is better than Michael's ever been.
Kevin Munch, remember him?
124. NIKO, you require 25.
Andre Velja.
Double four.
But this
21.
latest crop of
Reese, you
German
require
players are
40.
just taking it to another level.
Yeah, different bunch of beasts.
Game
But
shot on the
NIKO's
first
lost
leg,
his
Reece
throw in the
Robertson.
opening leg of his night. He's missed starts at double, and Reese has swooped in.
Second leg, it's Reese to throw first. Game on.
Robinson is looking for a 10th consecutive win. He has not lost since Tuesday morning.
100.
And it's now Thursday night.
140.
Just such a visually appealing game, this.
Yeah, if you've not seen his 9-darter, it is on YouTube. At the end of the session or in between breaks, have a
99.
little look for it. And not only is what his opponent does incredible, but I won't spoil it for you, but on the last
58.
start, something incredible happens. Well, 2 incredible things happen.
Yes, you just want to search for NIKO Springer and Manfred Bildel, who made a bit of a name for himself earlier this year, beating Phil Taylor at his last World Seniors Championship.
60.
And I
Yeah,
hate
he
to say it, but
denied me and Taylor one last little battle.
I hate to say it, but there was a lot of us called that
139.
because we knew
Yes.
how dangerous Manny is.
NIKO, you require 164.
He'll try and trim the 64. Well, he'll get more than that now. That leaves 85.
136.
Yeah, I like that
Reese, you
shot.
require 142.
Most would have probably gone ball there.
Reese does get the ball. And that leaves him 72.
Treble 16.
91.
It's not the
NIKO,
worst
you
result.
require 28.
But he could
Game
Be
shot on the
broken back
second leg,
immediately.
NIKO Springer.
13 darter from NIKO.
Third leg, it's NIKO to throw first. Game on.
Just to give you some sort of perspective as to how brilliant a year Springer has had.
97.
He's won 3 development tour titles this season. On top of that, 4 PDC Europe Next Gen titles.
121.
But if I'm being honest, him playing in that is not a fair fight.
108.
It genuinely isn't a fair fight. He is by far the best player in Germany in that age group.
How many European tours has he played on? Do you know?
4.
Yeah. So this
96.
environment's not going to be daunting for him.
Not at all. He's played at the PDC Europe Super League, formerly known as the German Super League, quite a few times.
Yeah, and that's
59.
with cameras and
NIKO,
everything,
you
isn't it?
require 128.
He didn't need to go there this year. Didn't need to put himself through it.
96.
Look what he's leaving after 12.
Yeah, as the average creeps up over 102.
108.
Here we go.
See, NIKO, you require
Can't get enough of this
52.
game.
Game shot
And
on the
this game
third
is
leg, NIKO
rattling
Springer.
along with that 13 darter.
Back-to-back 13s. We did suggest this one
Fourth
could be a
leg,
little
it's
bit
Reese to throw
special.
first.
And
Game
it's
on.
not disappointing.
There's going to be a few people watching on our YouTube channel right now saying, you gave it the big build-up. And before
Are you
this
sure?
before this started, I said, is he really that good? Is he really?
43.
Yeah, he is. This could be the only time he plays here this week. If he doesn't win the title
93.
and he doesn't come back to join Kai Gotthard in Champions Week, this will be his only visit to Portsmouth because he's on the tour. He's got a lot of balls in the air, has NIKO, because he's super smart.
60.
Been working on qualifications and school over the last few years. Looking to work for the Justice Department in Germany.
44.
Ooh.
Seems to be the norm for the young Germans, like Robin Bieger, who's been
6.
playing here. NIKO Kurtz.
Yeah,
He-
the younger generation of Van Veen, wasn't it? He made sure he finished school and he was working
83.
part-time in the industry that he graduated in.
96.
Must be something about the name Springer at the minute. Jeff Springer's qualified for Lakeside from the United States.
180.
Second max of the game for NIKO. He might just be the one to break
81.
this
NIKO, you
streak of
require
Robinsons.
101.
I think he will.
69. Reese, you require 161.
This would be some way to get yourself out of a big hole.
Right next door.
Look at the
123.
viciousness of that
NIKO, you
second dart.
require 32.
Well, this is difficult.
16.
That deflection gives Reese a
Reese, you
chance to get
require
back in the
38.
match.
Well, the last 2 darts were casually thrown in anger. Oh, Reese, what have you done?
Well, he said a word there that I'm sure a lot of dart players would have said to themselves in that moment.
30. NIKO, you require 16.
Second bite of the cherry.
Game shot on
And
the
he doesn't
fourth
miss
leg,
this time.
NIKO Springer.
And when he does miss, you've got to
Fifth
make
leg,
him
it's
pay.
NIKO to throw first. Game on. $81.
Uses a very intricate barrel as well.
Yeah, there's quite a bit going on that barrel, isn't there?
It almost reminds me of
140.
one of the versions that Jelle Klaassen has used.
Yeah.
Lots of intricacy.
Lots of different grip
60.
patterns.
But it's predominantly steps and grooves
Yes.
towards the back of the barrel, towards the stem, because that's where he holds it.
94.
And he uses a shape of flight that, for me, I've only seen one player use. That's Terry Jenkins.
134.
It's a big, slim flight.
Yeah. It's longer but smaller. Yeah, and he does actually...
60.
He holds the back of the barrel in the thumb, and he's obviously got that designer
134.
dart literally manufactured to fit his grip profile.
100.
And he's 2 darts away
NIKO, you require 92.
from stopping Reese in his tracks.
Stopping him from going to double figures.
52. Reach, you require 107.
To keep the streak alive, and that does not do it. The record for the streak is 17. And in order to get into record territory,
67.
Robinson
NIKO, you
needed to win
require
every game
40.
in this group. But he might lose this one.
Game
And he
shot
has.
And the match, NIKO Springer.
On debut, NIKO Springer impresses. And there's definitely another gear to find for the impressive, rangy German, who finishes off the streak for Reese Robinson and averages just shy of 95, with a very steady performance on the doubles as well, with a couple of maximums. He's outgunned Sugar Reese Robinson and won by 4 legs to 1. And now we get another look at Tommy Lishman, who will take on the final first game player of the night. It's a little matter of Neil Duff. Game number 3 of Group B, and it's a welcome back to the Duff man. The man who still has a lot to do for the rest of 2024. But before we get into that, he's got a lot to do this week. He's got Group B over the next couple of nights. He's got the ADC Winmore Championship Tour finals on Saturday afternoon, and he would love a crack at Saturday night as well. So he could be playing tonight, tomorrow, Saturday afternoon, and Saturday night. Yeah, that's a pretty busy schedule for the Duff man. But in order to make Saturday night, he's got to play well against the other 4 people in this group.
Yeah, and this is a toughie for me, Nico, because he's coming in against a player that has already played and played very well.
And you believe that he plays his best darts here when it's a full week?
Yeah. Yeah, statistically, I've looked at it. The difference between when he plays a full week, his level of play Thursday, Friday, Saturday is night and day to that of what he plays Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday afternoon.
First leg, it's Neil to throw
final
first.
couple of games Tuesday afternoons,
Game
you
on.
start to see that transition. Wednesday, you see him start to build. But if he's left himself too much to do, then ultimately he's back for Thursday and Friday. But what a start this is.
123.
First things first, he's got the older darts in this first match. He has got another set that he uses that are black and gold.
125.
Yep. They're like the next phase, weren't they?
We were talking about those darts with him the last time he was here. He says
6.
they feel the same. He's just trying to figure out what the intricacies could be.
They're a bit of Joe Cullen about them, isn't there?
Yeah, they've got a slight wave in the middle for thumb
6.
position. I think it's not deep enough to be called a scallop.
No, it's you can feel it, but only just.
180.
I think you're right. I think this is a bit of a banana skin game against Tommy. But Neil has started very, very well.
180.
Tommy ain't started too bad.
138. $98. Tommy, you require 136.
This would be world class. He's not going to find it. So fair play to Neil for leaving tops after 12.
58. Neil, you require
The
40.
T-shirt.
One day I will make it happen.
Gabe Sean of first
13
leg,
darters
Neil
are better than tops after 12, though.
That was a classy leg, considering he's coming
Second
in
leg,
cold
it's
and
Tommy
the
to throw first.
final player of the
Game
group to
on.
play. And he flew into the country this morning.
60.
From Switzerland?
Yep.
Yeah, he's living on neutral ground these days.
100.
That must be horrible, living in Switzerland. Expensive.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. Beautiful place. My grandfather was from.
121.
Home of great watches, great cheese, great hills and snow.
121.
We've got some pretty decent dart players over there too, like Stefan Belmont, Thomas Younghans, Andy Bless.
56.
Had their first European Tour tournament this year, won by Martin Schindler.
$55.
Really making that bigger hole on the Lishman throw.
58.
Tommy did everything right there on 264. If you miss the treble 20, you've got to stay on 20s with that second dart. And then you have to switch if you don't find it.
83.
That was a super last start from Neil Duff to leave a finish.
$120.
That's
Neil,
impressive.
you require
After dart one.
142.
Watch out. I'm surprised that he didn't choose to stay there.
And that's why.
Tommy, you require
It was
86.
begging for a bedfellow.
Maybe the same sort of thing here for Tommy on the 18s. He doesn't need the 18s anymore.
Game
He
shot
just
on the
needed
second
that.
leg, Tommy Lishman.
Just because we've been lauding Springer and we've been talking about Duff
Third leg,
in
it's
this
Neil to
place
throw
forever.
first. Game
You
on.
cannot afford to forget about Lishman. He is seriously dangerous.
100.
Top standard of match so far. Indication of that is when we look at the averages going into leg 3. 106 for Duff and pretty much 100 for Tommy. We were impressed by NIKO, but
140.
this supersedes that performance.
From what we've seen so far, I'm a little bit worried about Bialecki in this group.
140.
Because if he doesn't find another level, there are players who possibly could expose his steady 88 average level.
Yeah, he'll get swallowed up.
100.
And he's never missed a Saturday when he's tried to qualify for one. He's 7 from 7. And this is his last weekly campaign as well. He'll not want to lose that record as he goes to the Pro Tour for the next 2 years.
Yeah, and Seb,
91.
he
You
plays
require 161.
NIKO next game.
Yikes.
65. Tommy, you require 130.
We called him Tommy Big Fish Man at one point. How about Tommy Little Fish Man?
$58. Neil, you require 96.
Seen lots of different behaviours on this checkout. He's backed into a corner, but can he dig his way out?
76. Tommy, you require 72.
Biggest moment of the match for me. This could really swing things one way or the other.
Earlier today, Richie Burnett was going treble 12 on this. Look at
Gates
the
on
2
third
dark
leg,
kills from
Tommy
Lishman. 86 followed by 72 and a 2-1 lead.
Yep. 14
Fourth
darter.
flag, it's Tommy
2
to throw
from 2 on the
first.
doubles.
Game
Average of 99.42. But for him, it's that big, big breaker throw.
on. 40.
And they can be critical when it comes to this format. What's the major difference between playing long format against one opponent and short
97.
format 4 times against other people?
It's just that short race mentality. It just makes you flap. But you can go a little bit
96.
too early on the panic.
So good looks at everybody playing at the Winmore World Masters in January when it's going to be
Well,
best of 3 legs a set.
I forgot how horrible the format was until I played a week or so ago, and it just plays havoc with your focus, and I just found myself
54.
forcing everything. I never really relaxed at any point. Not that Martin Adams in that form allows you to.
140.
Yeah, he's been quite good at that format over the years, hasn't he?
Yeah, he won it a few times, didn't he? It's probably as confident as I've been in
60.
for as long
Neil,
as
you
I can
require
remember. and
164.
how that backfired.
In the words of Paul Newman, Chris, there's always tomorrow.
92.
Oh yeah, I've got an itch I've got to scratch, mate. It's not over.
He just won't leave Duff alone.
138. Neil, you require
Just do what he
72.
did, Neil. Albeit with the old school route.
32.
I
Tommy, you
wonder
require
if
112.
Tommy can get his first ton-plus checkout of the night.
Newsflash: Gary Anderson missed 2 darts at double 12.
This would be a bit naughty.
80.
Yep, that one
Do
was
you require 4?
past the lighthouse, wasn't it?
Game
And
shot
that
on
one's in, so
flag,
Neil has
nil
dodged
to.
a bullet there.
And broke back. Still
Fifth
holding
flag, it's Neil to throw
that 100
first.
plus average.
Game on.
Why do I get the feeling that Lishman is enjoying every second of tonight? When he looked at the schedule of who he was playing this morning,
108.
he'll have said to himself, oh, let's get our teeth into this and see what we can do.
Yeah, he strikes me as one of those types of players. Well, he's
81.
a Yorkshireman, isn't he? Like granite.
He's made of tea and biscuits
58.
with a little bit of gravy to put them together.
I wonder if he plays on the old Yorkshire board, the doubles board.
43.
I don't know anybody who's got one of those.
Oh, there's still leagues up in certain parts of Yorkshire. They play a league on it.
I've got a Lincolnshire board. All
59.
black, just doubles and a bull.
Yeah, it's a little bit like a the log end, isn't it? But it's a proper board,
100.
not the end of a log.
Yeah, the log end boards, you needed to remold them after every game, didn't you?
Yeah, you have to put them in water, or elm, and there's still an old boy up there who makes them to this day.
44.
Amazing. That'll be a life's work. He's not going to get to a finish, so Duff
57. Nearly
can't find the
require
lead. This has been a
160.
difficult game to navigate. But he's averaging 98 in this game.
25.
Ouch. That might change things. Tommy seems to have lost a little bit of fluency
77.
over the last 5 minutes or so.
Neil, you require 135.
it's the relentless pressure of Duff. He's almost suffocating in ball.
97.
He did have the option of laying up there because a lot more people are doing that these
143.
days. And if he had decided to lay up,
93.
he wouldn't be
Neil,
on
you
double
require
19.
38.
Double 16 is his choice. And what a
Game shot
fine
on the
choice
fifth
it
flag,
was.
Neil Duff.
Even though he hasn't been playing for the last 3 days, you were relaying
Sixth
to me
flag,
earlier,
it's
Chris,
Tommy
that
to
he
throw
has been
first.
playing a lot of darts
Game on.
recently, so he will be sharp.
Yeah. He won't have to go through that process of where, you got to start practicing and then you
58.
build up. He'd have just been, from building up to the last 2 seniors events, he'll just be ticking over.
100.
Not like what I've done and not even looked at my darts since I lost. But the intent was there. I did bring them.
93.
Neil is looking very slender these days, isn't he?
100.
Looks in pretty good nick. Life is good to him. He's very busy. Always in demand.
100.
And he's always hungry. He's not far from victory in this match. In fact, he's only 3 darts away from it.
$92.
He may have the
Here we
benefit of
require
6 darts from here
161.
to join Springer and Lishman on 2 points.
100.
That was a bold decision, but it has
Tommy
paid
require
off.
158.
Hang about. Double 19. Oh,
Game
boy,
shot and a
how
stick
good is
flag.
that?
Tommy Lishman.
This game continues. He is
Seventh
very
and
hard
final
to
leg.
shake
It's
off.
Neil to throw first. Game on.
He enjoyed that one.
I was already filling in my notes.
100.
Gary Anderson safely through in the end after a spirited effort from Bunty. 10-6 to Gary Anderson. Averaged, well, as good as 100. 99.95.
We say that a 99 checkout might as well be a ton plus checkout because it's a 3-darter. So if you average 99, we'll say it's an honorary 100.
140.
There's been no negative reaction from Neil Duff here after seeing Tommy take out a 158.
61.
He was determined to hit a 1 there, wasn't he? Small 1, out the board, then he gets another 1. But that expression of Duff, it barely changed
60.
in the last 15 minutes or so. He's been uber focused.
100.
He's also maintained this
105.
97 average almost the entire match. It hasn't been an obliterating start and then it's dipped. It's been pretty much
55.
at
Neil,
this
you
level
require
the
96.
entire game. If he takes this, he's going to average high 90s. And that's what he does.
And the match, Neil Duff.
That's a great first performance for Neil because in this group, which is pound for pound the hardest of the week for getting to Saturday, he has just done something to say, don't forget about me. And we don't forget about you, Neil. Look at what he did with the average. Very, very good. 96.74 with 2 180s and 50% on the doubles. And his highest checkout came after the 158 from Lishman to make sure he did not get a match dart. I wonder who's going to get match darts next because Bialecki has to lift his level, otherwise Springer will eat him alive. Well, if that makes you feel a bit dizzy, just focus on the stage. Because now at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, we're going to see another game for NIKO Springer. And he's got that schedule tonight where he's game on, game off, game on, game off. So it's always a nice 20-minute break in between fixtures. You can get a nice rhythm over the course of the next couple of hours. But he started very vibrantly against Robinson, breaking that 9-game winning streak of his.
First flag, it's Sebastian to throw first. Game on.
But these two, they do have something in common. They're both going to the PDC Pro Tour at the start of next year, and they did it the same way, getting it from the development tour.
140.
Just goes to show that the system works, I guess.
Yep, there's evidence of that. If you think of the progression a certain Mr. Humphreys made, ticked every box all along the route.
85.
We've had 41 ton plus finishes this week, which is
57.
more than usual to this point. Do you want to hazard a guess as to what the record is for a week, Mace?
140.
68.
77.
Wowzers. That must have been a Champions Week, yeah?
40. Sebastian, you
Week
require
2, Series 6.
136.
That was the series that was won by Scott Taylor. And this could be the case of leg 1 being won by Bialecki. He's got off to the good start.
104.
And he's just done something that you mentioned yesterday. The old Eric Bristow trick.
The Trouble 8.
60. Sebastian, you require 32.
If he hits this, he's got to blow a kiss to the camera.
You mentioned that busy period for Neil Duff. Of course, not
16.
too far after all of that. He's off to Lakeside to try and win another WDF title.
And who's to say he can't?
128.
The kind of form he showed there.
Sebastian, you
Certainly not
require
me.
16.
I'm not going to bat against him, that's for sure.
Game shot on the first
And you
leg.
don't back
Sebastian
against
Bialecki.
Bialecki. We've said he needs to lift his level. If he doesn't, this group will
Second
swallow
leg,
him
it's
whole.
NIKO to throw first.
So watch what he
Game
does
on.
next. He'll probably lift his level.
100.
Also, I hear the ticket sales are going well as well for Lakeside, which is always good news. And they recently announced they've got a bit of TV for the last couple of days.
180.
Well, we were asking for another gear from Seb.
180.
He's going to need it.
He's certainly found it at the moment.
I think there's chemistry amongst a lot of these development tour
59.
graduates because they play each other and spend time with each other so regularly. They know about their rhythms, their
57.
tendencies.
Yeah, they're top level.
$180. NIKO, you require 164.
Someone's had a word with him. This is different altogether
98.
to anything we've
Sebastian, you
seen
require
from Bialecki
82.
at the start of any match this week. Double 16. 11
Game shot on
dart
the second
break.
leg, Sebastian Bialecki.
Well, he'd not hit a 180 since his
Third leg, it's Sebastian to throw first. Game on.
fourth match on Wednesday. Didn't hit one in his fifth match. Didn't hit one in his first match this evening. And now he's hit 2 and he's averaging at
60.
111.33 prior to that troublous visit.
There can't be many things that Sebastian hasn't done
140.
under this roof. He's been here enough over the last couple of years. He's won a weekly title. He's got a 9-darter. Not winning a series is obviously one. But I think professional pride will definitely kick in the next
57.
couple of days. He will not want his untarnished record of making Saturdays to leave him.
100.
But how easy did that look?
Nico Springer is averaging exactly 100. Don't see that very often.
140.
He might need a bit more than 100.
58.
They've only met 3 times on the development tour. Their only meetings. Nico's won the last couple. One of them being this year.
115.
Winning in sunny Milton
Nico, you
Keynes
require 123.
back in July. And almost winning
73.
that leg on the bullseye.
Sebastian, you require 129.
That was one of those 51% weigher moments. A shot at the bull for Seb.
93. Nico, you require 50.
Didn't even scare it.
Double 16.
Game shot on the third leg.
That
Nico
one was very
Springer.
frightened.
Yeah, strong leg, 14 darter, break of throat. Game on.
Fourth leg. It's Nico to throw first. Game on.
This may seem like a bit of a joke question, Mace, but I mean every bit of it.
100.
What are they putting on the milk these days?
It's frightening, isn't it? There's so many of these players around this kind of age that have a big, big future. We've seen one go
91.
out tonight. Mike DeDecker, a little bit older, but you're going to be seeing him locking horns with the likes of Littler,
96.
possibly these two, and many, many others over the next couple of years.
I'll tell you someone who I wouldn't want to be in the next few days. Richard Veenstra. Because
55.
he is who DeDecker plays next. I think there's going to be a bit of angst in DeDecker's locker when he goes to Minehead.
128.
Yep, that's the first round of the Players' Champs. We'll be on ITV4 for all you UK viewers.
140.
I'll tell you what's a really interesting game there next week is Dave Chisnell against Joe Cullen.
Well, is there 2 players out of form more in World
137.
Darts right now?
Probably not. That's what makes it interesting.
In a sadistic sort of way.
Every fixture has its own dynamic.
59.
This one
Nico,
is
you
all about
require
what they're
40.
doing now, but also what they're about to do. The hot start of Bialecki,
30. Sebastian, you require 150.
it could have been crushed. It might be embellished.
I was going to say, was going to do well to get one
100.
down the side of there. It
Nico,
was
you
bottom
require
of
10.
the 60 bed.
Game shot on the
2-2
fourth
it
leg.
is.
Nico Springer.
The more legs we get, the more impressed we'll be by the standard. This is a week
Fifth leg.
that
it's
has
Sebastian to
not
throw
failed
first.
to
Game on.
impress from minute 1. We've had 7 checkouts this week of 161 or more.
140.
Had 3 170s, haven't we?
58.
I heard a rumour about 2 minutes ago that Johan Brouwer is still celebrating his.
$140.
Such a lovely rhythm about this game as well. Springer holding on with his 92 average. And Bialecki
97.
leading it with 104. And he hasn't played to this level all week long. He might need this level against Duff, against Springer,
91.
and against Robinson. As with every Thursday night.
58. Sebastian, you require
You just need to be in
130.
contention going into night 2. Don't lose all your games. And if Romeo Gerbovat's taught us anything last week, even if you lose your first 3, get the
98.
4th and anything's possible. And he ended up topping the group.
And the best we've seen from Seb all week
140.
is a 97-37, and that was an
32.
anomaly at the time.
Yeah, and that was a game he lost.
Game shot on the 5th leg.
Right
Sebastian
now,
Bialecki.
he's averaging 103.41. We asked for another
6th
level.
leg. It's NIKO to throw first.
Seb
Game on.
has obliged.
.42.
His personal best
100.
away from the Modus Super Series is 105.47 in a 4-0 win against Jim Mostyn. That was in 2022.
180. $60.
It's looking like this one is going to go to a decider.
139.
Get ready to flip that coin.
Yeah, I don't think that lucky penny that Dimitri found is feeling very lucky at the minute, by the way. I think he's probably tossed it in the drain.
70. NIKO, you require 140.
I think you're right. Has anybody got a coin we can flip? And the thinking
62.
behind that shot, that is something that most young players are doing now.
Yeah, I like it.
I never used to like people going 18s on 140
57. NIKO, you
when
require
their
78.
opponent was not on a finish. But
No.
now it makes sense because these are the
Game shot on
25
the
a bit
6th
more.
leg. NIKO Springer.
The 18s come up trumps, as do the double 12 does.
7th and final
Just a
leg.
great
It's
game of darts.
Sebastian to throw first. Game on.
And I feel almost sad that these two are not going to be here post this year, especially Springer, because we're only going to get him once or twice.
135.
You could have comfortably put those 3 inside of a polo mint. Other mints are available, they just don't have any holes in.
These guys could put holes in them.
100.
Oh, come on. Oh, that looked so good.
140.
Well, it was almost a replica of Dart 1 in Visit 1.
Sebastian has done very little wrong in this game. He's hit 3 out of 7 on the doubles.
134.
Are his 2 highest averages of the week so far going to be both in defeat?
57.
Maybe not.
Sebastian, you require 132.
He's going to miss this bullseye. He wants it to be just over the top on the right. That's not bad. He doesn't get a shot for the match. In fact, we haven't
64.
seen a match start yet.
NIKO, you
But we
require
might see one now.
124.
We don't. That may be
84.
the biggest mistake of
Sebastian,
this
you
entire
require
game.
68.
And it was for a single number. This is massive. And it's only game 4. Bravo.
Shot and the match.
That was a
Sebastian Bialecki.
bruiser. A great game of darts between 2 fabulous young talents. And Bolt knows exactly what he's just been through. His average is exactly 99. 50% on the doubles. And NIKO Springer has pushed him to his limits. He needed his best game to win that one. And he brought it out with that 68 at the end, which got him the result. That could be crucial for him to keep his record of perfect Saturday qualification alive. We've now got 4 players on 2 points, and the only person who hasn't got any right now is Rhys Robinson, and he's got the small matter of Neil Duff to come.
Hang on a minute.
Wow! Oh my God! Well, that's £100 down the drain already.
Itching to hit the 180.
He's gone for the maximum.
18 for the bull. Bull.
53.
No, he said bull. That's a great first out from Adam. Oh, look at this. He's going to leave Skate. Oh, can you believe it? That is unbelievable.
Get match darts to put his team into the final. And through to the final they go. Charlie Murphy has hit the match-winning dart on both occasions. Number 4 for the title.
Please show your appreciation for the winner of the Influencer Pairs event, George Scaife and Adam Lipscomb.
He seems to be out. That's what he is. Charlie Murphy. A couple more visits yet. We're not going to need that.
Oh, Bosh.
Pie Face is through. He gets
And he's
there.
absolutely buzzing.
It was a game that Pie Face dominated throughout.
Who wants more darts like we've just seen in the last match? Well, we do. And so far, so good for the people throwing first, because they are winning their matches, holding their throw in best of 7 darts, and averaging well into the 90s every time. The people against the throw just can't seem to break them. Now, Neil Duff has the chance to do just that against Rhys Robinson.
It's Rhys to throw first. Game on.
Who is the only player yet to score. But we could have that really enticing first quarter of a Group B campaign, Mace, where everybody gets 2 points from the first 5 matches.
Yeah, it's got that feeling to it. But it's been a cracking standard. The lowest average of the night is by the player that now has the highest average of the night.
140.
And when I say low, it wasn't bad. It was 81.
Yeah, slow start for Sebastian, but he's booked his ideas up pretty quickly.
135.
And boy, did he need to.
Well, Rhys was the 4-6 favourite to win this one. They went
95.
11-10 about Neil Duff, but it is Rhys with throw, and everybody so far tonight has won with throw.
96.
Like Mace mentioned in the previous match, we've had 3 170 finishes already this week. 2 from
98.
Tommy Morris, and
Rhys
1
require
today from Johan Brouwer.
170.
But the one we expected it to come from is this man. Oh, teed that up perfectly.
96.
Big last start.
Duff will not leave him alone.
128.
And that turned out to be a really good switch.
Reach requires 74.
Double 10. To start strongly.
Game shot of
Really
first
well
leg,
done.
Reece
It's almost
Robinson.
more impressive getting it with dart 3. Because you're on that perilous,
Second
small,
leg,
odd
it's
number
Neil to
double.
throw first.
Yeah, dodgy
Game on.
double 5. Don't know anybody that likes it.
140.
I think Gezi Price has got pretty good memories of it. Winning a world title on it in 2021.
Yeah, I suppose those that love tops, it's only a small adjustment, but I'm not a fan.
140.
Yeah, it's a bit like any player saying they like double 9. I don't believe them. There's nothing to like about it.
180.
Fancy another ding dong? I think we're going to get one.
57.
It's got all the ingredients.
This has got to be one of the most cosmopolitan series
55.
that we've had in the last couple of years. So many different nations into Champions Week already. England's still got a few through.
100.
But Neil Duff
Neil, you require 126.
has got something else on his mind this week. Something he's been fairly close to before.
86.
And that's joining Steve West on his own pedestal, who has 5 weekly titles. Because apparently, according to Steve West, he said this and quoted here at the Live Lounge, the double trouble week doesn't
34.
count.
Neil, you require 40. Game
He
shot
would
on the
probably
second
beg
leg,
to
Neil
differ.
Duff.
But if he was to win this week, he'd have 5 weekly titles and a double trouble.
Third leg, it's Reece to throw first. Game on. $77.
Some standard of game, this one.
$55. $57.
That is a real chance for Duff to really pile on the pressure of the Robinson throw.
140.
At the moment, Neil Duff is averaging 112, NIKO.
He's playing some serious darts tonight.
60.
I was worried at the start of tonight that maybe we didn't give him enough of a build-up. We haven't seen him
59.
since week 1 of this series. He played an astonishing 3 straight weeks. He played Champions Week, then he played a special week, then he played week 1 of the series,
40.
and by the end of it, he was just cooked.
Yeah, that was a lot of darts.
But he looks very refreshed.
6.
And what have we said about week 10 earlier in the week? 3 week 10 champions have gone on to win the series.
It's a nice omen, isn't it?
140.
How small will this number be? Not small enough.
44. Reece, you require 127.
He's let Reece off the hook here.
Are you feeling risky? I think he's going to lay up.
10 or 18.
95. Neil, you require
Looked down and right,
143.
and then looked up. Oh, I always love seeing the look on the
107.
other player's face when they've sort of said, you can't
32.
do this.
We're going to have to give that play a name.
Game shot on the third leg, Reese Robinson.
It pays off. But if we're going to give it a name,
Fourth
there's
leg,
such a
it's
thing as
Neil to throw
laying
first.
down the gauntlet
Game on.
to your opponent to say, can you do it? So when someone lays up, when their opponent's on 1-4-3 or something like that, we're going to have to call it a gauntlet. It's incredibly risky doing that against a
83.
former world champion.
And a player with an unbelievable record here.
100.
It still doesn't trump what I've seen on the Pro Tour once, when I saw somebody lay up when their opponent was on 88.
81.
I think it was Krzysztof Kachuk who did that. I couldn't believe my eyes. It didn't pay off. He took the 88 out.
140.
He didn't flinch either. It wasn't an error. Did it on purpose.
85.
Well, MVG come unstuck, didn't he, with a layup.
Against Sulevic at the Worlds. Now, totally different behaviour there.
136.
Sees a shot and went for it.
Yeah, didn't even hesitate. That should be called the Adams.
43. Neil,
You've seen that 161 in a layup situation from Damon Hetter and Johnny Clayton in Austria a couple of years ago.
Game shot on the fourth leg, Neil
It's
Duff.
2-2 in no time at all. This is a very well-paced game. But as for where it goes from here, your
Fifth
guess
leg,
is as
it's
good as
Reese to
mine.
throw
Yeah,
first.
both 2 from
Game on.
3 on the doubles. Well, it is Duff dominating the scoring phase up to press.
100.
Yeah, it was last April. Damon had 50 left with one dart in hand. Johnny Clayton was on 161. Damon hit an 18.
99.
Clayton took out 161 to win the match 6-4. I once heard from my first driving
58.
instructor that if you're going to pull out, you have to understand what you're going up against. And bearing in mind I was learning in a Nissan Micra, a green one.
100.
Not that that had anything to do with it. But he said, if you're going to pull out and you've got something that's fairly slow and lethargic coming towards you, you can do it.
57.
But if a Lamborghini's coming around the corner, you probably don't. So laying up against someone like Duff is like trying to pull out from a T-junction
100.
when a Lamborghini like Duff is coming around the corner. It's very risky.
Wow, great looking ton.
I think if you were going to find the right car to describe Neil as, you'd have to ask Daryl Gurney. He knows more about cars than most Northern Irishmen.
100.
But he doesn't call them cars. He calls them cures. Fabulous accent. And a fabulous visit.
140. Neil, you require 97.
Double 19. Now, why did Reese
37.
try and leave double
Reese
3?
require
Did he think he
46.
wasn't coming back?
Mind games. 37 left.
Well, that is maybe just a little bit of karma.
Oh, only just in the 5. This flies in.
Top, middle, or bottom? Middle.
Game shot on the fifth leg, Reese Robinson.
He did his best pop and fresh impression there. Big puff of the cheeks.
Sixth leg, it's Neil to throw first. Game on.
Neil's not given too much away, but inside he will be raging.
100.
Things are never boring when Reese is around. That's why he's got as many nicknames as he has. And the amount of times you've seen him
100.
try these different shots, like 3 double tops on 120, and the bull single bull shots. They are all part of his makeup, but I'm not so sure
100.
that this is the kind of group where he's going to have the chance to do that.
No, I think it will be ultimately costly.
$140.
He's just so difficult to dispose of.
108.
3-2 up, has half a dart lead, and that is crushed into smithereens in a matter of seconds. But then
108.
he comes back with one.
Now we require 121.
So he is going to have a chance to win the match. Fair play to Robinson for that 180. That could change this entire
81.
contest
Rishi require 81.
for the better. For the Englishman.
Oh dear. Oh,
Double oh dear.
31.
didn't get away with it this
Now we
time.
require 40. Game shot on the sixth leg.
Sensational.
Finishing from both. Both 75%. 3 from 4.
7 from final leg. It's Reese to throw first.
Duff still
Game on.
averaging over a ton.
It's 14 between them in the average. But this can happen when you've got the throw.
140.
If you're using a lot of darts to convert at the end of a leg and your opponent is not, like that previous leg from Duff,
60.
this is not out of the ordinary.
Nope. Nope, sure isn't.
But this is definitely the biggest leg for Reese
41.
Robinson tonight. If he loses this, Duff will lead the table and Robinson will be pointless after 2.
140.
And this is why Group B is the best group of the week.
Certainly is when it's filled with the talent we have on display in this particular Group B.
Yeah, just a small matter of Lishman versus Springer
43.
next. That could be rather good. But that visit there for Robinson of only 43,
60.
Not
it hasn't been punished.
No. He's let him off the hook.
$96.
Just how crucial could that be? Still giving himself that 1 dart lead.
$140.
He has got 0 wiggle room now.
No room to manoeuvre.
100. Now you require 101.
He is praying for a chance. Duff might not give him one. Tops. To be top of the table after 2 matches played.
61. Rishi require 81.
And this is to cling on to everybody in the table. To go from 0 to hero. And from
Headshot
0
and the
points
match, Reece
to 2
Robinson.
points. What a great game that was. He survived 1 match dart. And Neil Duff, who averaged nearly 100 and had 60% on the doubles, he just couldn't carve out that extra chance to rob Sugar Reece Robinson of the 2 points that he garnered there. 80% on the doubles, and boy, did he need every shot he got. Credit to Reece. He's now on 2 points, and he keeps the trend going. Everybody has won with the throw so far. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series. As you can see, everybody has won with the darts tonight. That tells you a little bit of the story, because we have had some fabulous battles over the last 3 matches. A little bit of dominance from Lishman and Springer to get us started, but then everything has been tight ever since. But people have defended their throw in the last leg shootouts very well. So everybody's got 2 points. There's not a great deal between the leg differences as well, so we can scrub the first 25% of this group with everybody pretty much on the same footing. As for week 10, it is not disappointing, that's for sure. And when we come back with Lishman and Springer, we can see what happens next. But when it comes to week 11, we're not going to disappoint you there either.
Oh, what a start.
An opportunity.
Weekly winners wherever you look. Jim Long, Andy Davidson, Connor Heenahan, Marino Michaels. My word. Then you got the small matter of people like Chaz Barstow and Derek Coulson. And then you got James Wilson in there. What a week that is, Mace.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit lively. Big fan of Jim Long's. If he gets it right, what a player he is. But yeah, it's a tough one to call, isn't it? And a few names in there that I'm not particularly familiar with.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of people coming in here with no reputation, but I think sometimes they're the best stories. And I'm a big fan of people called Cedric. I'm a big fan of people called NIKO and Tommy as well, though. And they're going to start game 6 right now. NIKO Springer has not disappointed on debut, but he's only won 1 of his 2 games.
Yeah, in fairness, though, he did lose. He did lose with a 97.8 average and hit 418s and 3 from 7 on his doubles. If I look over that and think, right, what did he do wrong? Not very much against an inspired Bialecki.
Yeah, the bigger average of his 2 games came in the loss. But obviously having the throw tonight has become a thing. So over to you, Tommy.
So often, though, you see a pattern like that, and then it'll literally go the opposite way for 4 or 5 games. We see it a lot in the 6-player groups, Group A and C.
That is the 17th 180 of the night.
Tell you what, the 180 record could be getting threatened for the week.
I think there's going to be a few people out there thinking, where do I get some of these darts that Springer's got?
100. $137.
He's left 50 after 9.
52. NIKO,
and he's not going to be tempted.
50.
Nah. I'll just have an 11.
He just looks like he could do that all day long, doesn't he? There's not even a flicker of reaction of, oh yeah,
first.
That's nice.
Game on. 140.
Let us put this into a little bit of perspective, because it is November the 14th, soon to be 15th, and the World Championship
59.
at Alexandra Palace is going to start in 1 month. Tomorrow.
Well,
100.
in about 18 minutes.
The way it works in round 1 is that you have 32 qualifiers from the Pro Tour
78.
up against 32 qualifiers from around the world, from different tours and different affiliates and things like that. One of those 32 qualifiers from the Pro Tour, they've got to play NIKO Springer. There is someone you don't want to get.
No, that's a horrible first round draw.
I think those two
58.
words, if you draw him, are going to be very loud. Oh dear. And then 2 minutes later, said person will be hitting the practice board
140.
very hard.
NIKO, you require 160. $88.
Tommy
you
can
require
respond.
$87.
These kind of shots are so important. Double five. Oh,
Gage on
right in the
second
corner
leg,
as well.
Tommy Lishman.
Well defended.
Great response.
Third leg, it's Tommy
15
to throw
darter.
first. Game on.
Not quite as pretty as the Springer 11, but same result.
100.
Sounds almost like a clan, doesn't it? The Springer 11. Like a football team.
60.
Say what, they'd be good.
If they're anything like him. He does actually have his own chant when he's playing in front of German audiences. They shout Jerry a lot.
140.
Ah, I get it.
Just like the old
I'm
chat
amazing.
show.
I'm amazing they do because sense of humour and comedy not something you would associate
67.
with the Germans.
100.
I think there's a bit of a sense of humour from places like Hull.
139.
Very dry people who like a bit of a laugh. But this is no laughing matter.
No, that's not funny.
130. Tommy, you require 114.
Double 18.
78.
He might pay
NIKO,
the
you
penalty for
require
missing that
71.
double. It's only the second shot he's had. My
Gage on the
word.
third leg, NIKO Springer.
You can't see it, but Chris Mason sitting next to me is just having that
Full
little
flag, it's NIKO to
shallow
throw first.
shake of the
Game
head
on.
as if to say he's making this game look easy.
Yeah, annoyingly easy, but beautiful to watch.
140.
Players like him just make me smile.
Same. When I've seen him on the schedule for certain tournaments in the past, I'd say, I want to do that game. He's so watchable.
100.
And I like that. Disappointed with a ton. On a night like tonight, tons aren't good enough. Isn't that right, Tommy?
100.
Oh, he's in again.
177.
This game
180.
is getting
NIKO, you
a
require
little bit
84.
ridiculous. Bull. Oh
Gage
my
on the
word.
fourth flag, NIKO Springer.
That is an outrageous leg of darts.
Well, his winning legs are 11, 14
Fifth
and
flag,
12.
it's
His
Tommy to
average,
throw first.
111.46. Tommy's 3-1 down, averaging 105.41. 3 out of 3 on the doubles for Springer.
100.
And it's all the threes in the scoring phase of scores between a ton and 140.
6.
Look at that for a sequence of legs.
Even though he's 3-1 down, I think Lishman is getting a kick out of this
121.
game because he's getting the best view of this performance. And this is not out of the clear blue sky, let me tell you that.
140.
He's averaged over 110 on the development tour 4 times before. In a European Tour qualifier last year, he averaged nearly 114 against Stefan Siepman. And this year, he's averaged in excess of 110
140.
twice.
So this is not an anomaly then.
It isn't. In a qualifier for the International Darts Open last year, against NIKO Kurtz,
140.
He averaged nearly
Nico, you require
115.
161. $89. Tommy, you require.
But the game isn't
80.
over yet. Has to hit tops.
40.
And that might be
Nico, you
that.
require 72.
Well, if Springer can convert in 2, it will be an average of 110.
What more is there to say
And the
about
match,
that?
Nico Springer.
We weren't fooling around when we said he's that good. He's just proved it. He takes the lead in the table, having played one more game than everybody but Tommy Lishman. But that is a serious performance from a very impressive individual. 110.59 actually equals one of his best performances he's ever had, but 4 out of 4 on the doubles. And that average against a very impressive player tells you everything you need to know about how impressive Nico Springer is. We'll take a short break, because I think we all need to take a break after that one. And when we come back, it will be Bialecki against Robinson for the number 4th time of the week.
Next year, when that decision needs to be made, he's going to be 49. 1 year shy of the age of the seniors.
A very viable option. 2 players who are around that age. Well, what did he say about the 9?
Will we get the 141? Will the promise come true? Double 12.
Shot. And the match.
Steve
West
West has won the match with a 9-dart.
Harrison has kicked off the last leg in perfect style.
It's everything, really. Oh, he's timing this well again.
180.
With a 9-darter, treble 19. Treble 15 leaves double 18. Franchise Harrison to win the game in perfect style.
Hauled himself out of it.
Yeah, it was something that Henry actually said in jest that I was quoted as saying Jared Cole is one of the most, sounds a bit fishy. Glenn, do you know my grandpa Mark Salmon?
Do you? On a 177 and a 180. He's on a potential 9-darter.
Come on, Jared. Yes, you beauty!
Nice and high, and Fox has now got the game back into his
100
own destination, and wow, the momentum is with him. Here we go.
108.
I wouldn't have said it. Don't jinx it. Yes. Yes! Double 12! Yes! Get in there, Leacock!
Well, I think it's fair to say that the blue touch paper has been well and truly lit.
108.
6th max of the match. Oh, hang about. Hang about. It's getting ridiculous now. Can Tommy Lishman give us back-to-back 9-darters in back-to-back games? He could, you know. He could, you know. Goodness gracious me!
Tommy Lishman.
Back-to-back 9-darters!
We are having a breathless evening here in Portsmouth. The standard has been sensational so far. And even when the standard goes down just to 1 or 2%, we have some great battles, which are just as good. But this is a 4th meeting of this week between Sebastian Bialecki and Rhys Robinson. And Robinson leads by 2 games to 1 on the aggregate. They could be level when this game is completed, and it would be
First
3
leg,
wins in a row for
Sebastian
Rhys if he can get
first.
them.
Game on.
And we've just seen the streak broken of people winning with the darts.
Well, Rhys is even money. Seb is the
82.
8 to 11 favourite.
You get the feeling that the odds compilers have looked at that performance against NIKO Springer by Bialecki and said maybe he's about to kick it up a notch. Who is responsible for this standard going up tonight? Because they're all at it now. Is it Springer?
Yeah, I think when the intensity cranks up when you're in this kind of environment, you know, your senses go into overdrive. And
44.
You find gears that sometimes you don't know you have. I've had practice routines where we would play best of 5 winner stays on, and there's 3 or 4 or 5 pros in there, and you're all looking at, you know, you keep score, but it's just all about bragging rights and wanting to stay on, and you just the whole ambience changes. You would have. I'm sure you've had the same.
Yeah, absolutely. I had the privilege of practicing with Dave Chisnell every Tuesday in Morecambe. And even though I lost most of those practice sessions, it
41.
Gave me an indication as to how good I had to be. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have won 3 Pro Tour titles in 2011.
59. Sebastian,
you're almost forced into finding another gear.
Correct.
Darts is very much that sink or swim sport.
It's a bit like in the Ryder Cup, when your form might not have been brilliant, but you somehow find a way to win holes.
And again, you're just in that environment. You're in that group, aren't you?
Absolutely. Lee West was like that. He was out of form. He went to the Belfry over 25 years ago, and then he just kicked in because Sergio Garcia told him to.
Sebastian, you require 56.
Went the Brissy.
Well, somebody is having a bit of a love affair with double 16 again. And his name is Sebastian.
Second leg, it's Reese.
That's maybe the most unconventional thing Sebastian's ever done on this stage. Because he never does anything unconventional.
Nope. He plays it almost in a form of military fashion.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Group C guys are having a bit of a glance at this to see what their potential competition could be come Saturday night, but they've got their own problems. They've all got to turn up around 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning and have a scrap with 5 other players because everybody is still involved, just like this group. Game 7 and
140.
Springer's on 4. Everybody else on 2. We could find tonight giving us everybody on the same points. I would not be shocked.
Oh, neither would I. I just had a feel about this group. Had a feeling they were going to be taking
83
lumps out of each other. And so far, it's not disappointed. The actual group average this evening at this current pace is going to be something very special.
Absolutely right.
45. Reese, you require 118.
The only thing we've really lacked tonight, and it's against the run of what's happened this week, are ton plus finishes. We've had a 158.
Well, the scoring's been so good, they're not leaving any.
Yeah, biggest finish of that previous match for NIKO, 84.
Yeah, averaged very nearly 111. And he was 4 out of 4 on
72.
doubles.
Double top. And he's level.
Second leg, Reese Robinson.
But his name is Reese, not Andy.
Third leg, it's Sebastian to throw first.
I'm not going to give him any more nicknames. He's got enough.
He's got more than anybody I know, that's for sure.
Never wears a dart shirt, and he's never got nicknames on the shirt.
58.
Although a player in action next week's had a few. James Wilson, hasn't he?
Lethal Biscuit.
Jammy
Jammy Dodger.
57.
James Wilson is a player who has won every game in a Group C table before. 20 points from 20. And he didn't win the week.
98.
There is just such a different dynamic to finals night.
And we are starting to see weeks like next week where more people have won weekly titles than ever. When we first came here, everybody was on the same footing. Nobody had won here before. And you may get a repeat winner every now and again, but we're starting to see more people who have succeeded. And next week is the classic example of that.
$60.
It's actually the poorest game of the night so far.
Yeah, it's just sort of seemed to have hit a brick wall, and it's lacking a bit of pizzazz.
Which means it's up for grabs. If somebody can turn it on,
95.
that might be enough just to give them
you require
the space they need to
149.
succeed in this game.
Like either of these finishes going in.
How good has he been at that dart this week?
82. Reach you require 155.
Bend it like Bialecki.
We're not going to get a ton plus finish right there.
99. Sebastian, you require 67.
But this really should have been a bit easier. It might not need to be.
Game shot on
It
the
didn't
third
need to
leg,
be.
Sebastian Bialecki.
The player has yet to miss a double.
Fourth flag,
Just
it's Reese to throw
the
first.
only thing they're missing is their scoring boots.
$97.
We are now officially local time
58.
around the old Wilson Picket, the midnight hour. But you don't want to wait until the midnight hour. You want to get cracking as soon as
59.
Friday kicks in.
And that is now a month to Ali Pali. It's a month till Christmas. Well, when Christmas starts.
85.
We tend to work together a lot at Christmas, Mace, and I'm going to say this. It's something you will get, nobody else.
58.
It's a month until the first rendition of Dancing on the Ceiling. Because every year at Ali Pali, the DJ plays Dancing on the Ceiling at least twice a day.
140.
And that's when it feels like Christmas. This is a change of plan from Reese. He's trying to get the darts to land flat. He's taking his grip a little bit further forward and laying them down as opposed to throwing the darts hard and getting them to stand up. A bit like this.
138.
He has changed twice and he's backed it up right there. So if you think Peter Wright is bad changing darts mid-leg,
Sebastian, you require
Reese changes
80.
grip.
Yeah, that's remarkable. Is the clinical finishing going to continue? There you
On
go.
the fourth flag,
I'm not
Sebastian
quite sure how
Bialecki.
much you knew about that one, Nico.
That was off the post.
Literally.
Fifth flag, it's Sebastian to throw first. Game on.
Somebody's not happy at the back of the stage. I think this is going to be a very tough couple of days for Reese.
40.
This is an entirely different kettle of fish to Group A.
Yeah, I think it's frustration. That's how he strung those 9 consecutive matches together, and he's probably begun to feel almost unbeatable.
You know how we say that if you get yourself into Group B, you've got a better chance of making Saturday. If you were Robinson right now and you offered him a place in Group C tomorrow with 4 points or his current position, I think he'd take Group C.
I would, because his current position is bottom, Nico, as it stands on the live table.
Yes, that's fair.
84.
But the standard in this group is better.
Just a tad.
We've had a change.
47.
Is that a complete change, or is it just a stem and flight colour change?
Well, if my eyes don't deceive me, I know it's late, but he must have changed to a preset of these darts, stems and flights, because if he can change flights that quickly, he must be Superman.
140.
He can throw anything.
Yeah, I don't think he can change 3 stems in a matter of 6 or 7 seconds. There's no photo booth up there where he's just going to spin it and come out with a big blue cape on.
Maybe got the Red Bull pit team there.
Reach require 114.
Yeah, he needs Guido from Cars.
$87.
Well, that's different. He wanted to leave himself on 40, but now he's left one of those tricky numbers that aren't seen very often. Now, earlier in the week, Bialecki took out 23, which was the first time that had been checked out in the series. 27 is a rarity. But it has given Reese a chance of staying into this match. But he must keep going.
6th flag, it's Reese to throw first. Game on.
Well, sticking with these. And why not?
Apparently the other flights weren't bright enough.
125.
So he went to a white set.
I mean, if they are the same and it's just a colour change, it's just refreshing what you see, and you can just mentally switch you back on.
140.
What is it they say? A change is as good as a rest? I wonder if the points are different.
Well, yeah, I can see this
140.
almost extended bit on the point, which I can't see on those.
Yeah, I don't think...
Up by the barrel.
Yeah, I don't think these ones that he's using now have got that corkscrew on the bottom of the point.
If you look closely at the point closest to the barrel,
they are definitely different.
Yeah.
43.
They might have a slightly different grip texture towards the top of the point, like you mentioned. Whatever's going on, it's working.
$59.
Yes, there's definitely like an extended grip area on the actual point itself. So I'm pretty sure that's not part of the barrel.
So Aston, you require 107.
I'm trying to say he's gone from slick tyres to wet tyres. Reese, as everybody knows, he's a very clever individual.
Reese, you require
but what does he do from here? That'll do it.
On a 6th leg, Reese Robinson.
He's got his way off the canvas, bouncing off the ropes, and now Bialecki will need to find the knockout punch in the last leg again.
If it was a fight, Nico, Reese Robinson was out on his feet.
100.
Yeah, he was in Carl Froch territory against Jermaine Taylor. But look who's hitting hard now.
108.
Look who's going to stop him in the last.
80. $95.
95 may not be enough. Robinson, after 3 darts, has taken the throw and is running with it.
140.
For about 1/10 of a second there, he was thinking he was disappointed at not getting a shot at a 9-darter, but now he focuses more on the game and the result.
57.
Yeah, that's all this is about from here.
There have been times on this stage over the last couple of years where Reese has flexed his muscle when he's been massively in front. But this is more impressive than that. To win the last 3 legs against this young man
140.
would be something very
Reese
special.
require 84.
Because this has been a tricky game. Double 11. Two crucial points for Reese Robinson, who was the better player in the last 3 legs. He denied Sebastian Bialecki a 4th dart at a double. The doubling in that game was out of this world. Bialecki's average of 84 is almost inconsequential. He didn't get another shot when he was 3-1 up. And that is to the credit of Reese Robinson, who was 4 out of 5 himself and finished the game with a 12-darter on double 11. What more can we get from tonight? Well, how about the last game from NIKO Springer? And he's got a small matter of Neil Duff coming up next. We really have been treated to some great darts tonight, and we've still got 3 more games to give you as well. The last one of his debut day will come now for NIKO Springer up against the man who will fight it out for 2 more victories before the end of the schedule. Neil Duff has Springer and Bialecki. And we can still have 4 points for every player by the end of the night. But in order for that to happen, Neil Duff has to take care of Springer, who is having a rather wonderful debut.
Well, we did mention about all the
First
matches
leg, it's
going
NIKO
with
to throw
throw, the
first.
initial 5, or the next 2
Game
have
on.
gone against the darts. But I'm not too sure about this one on the back of seeing
57.
NIKO's previous performance, which surely must have, well, made him feel $1 million.
41.
We've seen people coming here for the best part of 2 years who never average 110. I never have
140.
a daily campaign where they're averaging over 100. That's what Springer's doing.
On debut.
108.
It will just feel like it's another day of darts for him, though. And if you think that playing 4 games in a campaign and then doing it again the next day is a hard thing, think again. He's played the German Super League, which is, trust me, it's harder than this.
Yes, the schedule in that is
42. NIKO, you require
really tough.
124.
Yeah, they play more like 8 games a day with a longer format.
42.
So this to him will feel like middle distance running.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be like a 1,500-metre specialist just having a little
82.
trip, a 2-trip round the track.
62.
Very close to
Neil,
taking
you
the
require
first lap.
138.
I don't think these two have ever met before because they've been swimming in very different pools.
80.
But this is a
NIKO, you
fascinating
require
encounter.
20.
Is there any part of the board
Springer.
where we can see any perceived weakness? Because I can't find it.
Second leg.
No,
It's
you
Neil to
keep
throw first.
wondering whether
Game
the...
on.
I don't even see any reaction to the odd bit of negativity that's happened
6.
during a leg. He's just remained stoic.
And after looking at his technique earlier in slow motion
60.
and comparing it to around 2 years ago, the scary thing is the technique is so much better now because the deviation of the elbow height, it has been minimized because that was the only flaw he had.
You are going to get that with players that are over 6 foot because they're naturally throwing down. But he's minimalized that massively. There's a lot less body and head movement. Really has got the fundamentals down
41.
to a T.
$60.
The temperament as well is something that you dream about. I really do wonder what he could do in the next year.
100.
Well, we have plenty
99.
to compare him to nowadays, don't we?
Don't we just? But the ideal way to say goodbye to this level of darts before you go to the Pro Tour is to win a series. In order to get to that,
100.
you've got to win the week. He might even have the ideal goodbye, which would be a record of 1-1.
150. Neil, you require
Yeah, I thought Littler's
140.
record was going to be 3-3.
The old tops routine, I can get behind that.
NIKO, you require 32.
Because with Springer on this, you don't think he's going to miss. But he might. And he
Game's on
doesn't.
the second leg, NIKO Springer.
Didn't need
Third
a
leg,
break of
it's
throw,
NIKO
of course, to win
first.
this match.
Game on.
As myself and Nico say a lot, you don't get paid overtime in this game.
44.
Not even this side of the camera.
Yeah, I remember Matthew Edgar was trying to work out after the European Championship how many pounds were earned per dart and per leg
140.
for the winners and the runners-up and that kind of thing. It makes for very impressive reading, but think about all the days where you don't earn
140.
anything.
Exactly. But paying out thousands to be there.
There was a time when Michael van Gerwen was averaging over £10,000 per European Tour event, and that was more than the runners-up check.
140.
Why do I get the feeling that someone's going to feel his backlash over the next month?
100.
You never know. NIKO could be playing against him at the World Championship if he takes out a qualifier and then gets drawn in the
99.
corresponding
Here you
game with
require
Van Gerwen.
161.
Duff is going in a very different direction. He's going to Lakeside, and he's going to treble 17 as well.
I don't think Mike would want anything to do with this kid right now.
NIKO, you require 78.
Double top. He's tall, but he's not that tall.
58.
Even
Here
he
you
couldn't see over the
require
top of that one.
24. Game
Well
shot
done.
on the third leg, Duff.
13 dart break of throw.
Fourth leg, it's Neil to throw first. Game on.
A few years back, Neil used to play on the whole Duff man thing, didn't he, with certain dart shirts? He doesn't do that anymore. He tends to wear Rangers
100.
colours. I wonder if he's got a doppelganger somewhere around the world that is the Fud man. Because that's the
140.
beer in the other town in The Simpsons, isn't it? They have Fud.
I have watched it, but I didn't know that.
140.
Yeah, you got Springfield, fun enough, Spring. And Shelbyville is the other town. And they have
82.
a little bit of an ongoing rivalry about a lemon tree. And there's a bit of a joke about Duffman in The Simpsons where he gets paid $50 an hour. Oh, yeah. Well, I think there have been tournaments where Neil has had more than $50 an hour.
Yeah, more than $50 a leg.
That's a tremendous start.
So's that.
130.
That's an exceptional visit. And after the hot start from the German,
60.
he's
Here
been
you
halted.
require 71.
Double 16.
Game shot on the fourth
This
leg,
really could
Duff.
turn out to be another classic match.
Fifth leg, it's NIKO to throw first. Game on. 57.
At the moment, Neil Duff out-averaging NIKO Springer.
Yeah, so far, this is NIKO's worst performance.
95.
Just needs a little bit of a second win now to start finding that first start. It's being dragged low all of a sudden.
134.
Wily old fox, isn't it? Against the young buck.
Special.
3
180s in the match. Two of them from the Northern Irishman.
58.
We've seen enough 180s tonight. It hasn't been one of those obliterating nights.
80.
It's just been about sustained quality.
Yeah.
$180.
There's another one.
Now we require 146.
Why do I feel like Neil had to take that out? Because tonight we've seen so many
28. NIKO, you require
2-dart
72.
checkouts on things like this.
You mean like this?
Game shot on the fifth leg. NIKO
Yeah.
Springer.
Just like that.
That leg was lost there for Neil and control of the match on that 80. Trouble
Sixth
20
leg,
dart
it's
one
Neil
and
to
then
throw first.
just lost his
Game on.
line. And that allowed NIKO to fancy the max and pile it in.
43.
The smallest mistake, and all of a sudden, this one turns around.
Yes, at this level.
97.
I am fascinated to hear what the finishing numbers are going to be come Friday night, because I've just had a glance over what we've seen tonight.
97.
We've got 14 completed sets of statistics for players
42.
from 7 completed matches, and only twice have we had double digits dart at a double. Everything apart from 2 individual performances,
140.
we've seen completions of games and non-completions of less than 10 darts at a double.
Yeah, that's remarkable.
78.
If these dart players were quarterbacks, they'd be getting a 150-point rating.
Yeah, that's it. It's
43.
It's the level of play and the intensity these matches are being played at. And yet again, that one slip from Neil Duff.
100.
Look at the disappointment with the ton.
Could do with another.
100.
How did you describe him? Wily?
Yeah.
If he takes the 78 out,
64. Neil, you require
he'll prove it.
78.
Double top. And we do go the distance.
Neil Duff.
Neil Duff, yet to miss a dart at the double.
7th and final leg. It's NIKO
We
to
have
throw
seen some
first.
remarkable finishing
Game
this
on.
evening.
Haven't we just?
$100.
And I think Duff hitting that 78 was crucial, because Springer has not had a ton plus checkout tonight, but he was sitting on that 120 to finish things off.
85.
And it's very easy for me to sit here and say he would have hit it, but there was something in the air that he would have finished that match off.
Well, the longer he goes without getting one, the
93.
more likely it is he's going to get one.
Duff has already lost to Robinson by 4
96.
legs to 3. This is a very similar position because he didn't have the darts then either.
90.
Trying to leave 180.
140.
Another 140 to leave tops. But will that be enough?
58.
I say yes.
I'd have to agree at this point. Unless NIKO's got an ace up his sleeve. That's flat. That's not ideal.
Just looking to create an angle.
83.
That's really unfortunate.
NIKO, you require 106.
If that dart was standing up the way he wanted, he would have hit that 140. Watch out. Double top.
120.
That might be the only
You
chance
require 97.
he will get to finish on 6 points on his debut night at the Modus Super Series. It turns out he gets another opportunity.
39.
And this could be
NIKO, you require
to lead the
40.
table overnight.
Game shot.
What a debut from NIKO Springer. That's a hurtful loss for Neil Duff. However, he does have one more match left against Sebastian Bialecki, and if he can inflict defeat on the pole, he will be towards the top of the table. But Springer, that's his worst performance tonight. Nearly a 90 average and 40% on the doubles. And it just goes to show how well he's played, that is the worst he's served up. And he walks away with 3 wins from 4. Duff will be back. He only got 3 darts at a double. And when you restrict your opponent to that, you always win. Robinson against Lishman will follow after this.
Next year, when that decision needs to be made, he's going to be 49. 1 year shy of the age of the seniors.
A very viable option. 2 players who are around that age. Well, what did he say about the 9?
Will we get the 141? Will the promise come true? Double 12.
Shot and the match.
Steve West has won the match with a 9-dart.
Harrison has kicked off the last leg in perfect style.
It's everything, really. Oh, he's timing this well again.
180.
With a 9-darter, treble 19. Treble 15 leaves double 18. Franchise Harrison to win the game in perfect style.
Hold himself out of it.
Yeah, it was something that Henry actually said in jest that I was quoted as saying Jared Cole is one of the most, sounds a bit fishy. Glenn, do you know my grandpa Mark Salmon?
Do you? So on a 177 and a 180, he's on a potential 9-darter.
Come on, Jared.
Yes, you beauty! Nice and high, and has now got the game back into his
100
own destination, and wow, the momentum is with him. Here we go.
108.
I wouldn't have said it. Don't jinx it. Yes. Yes! Double 12! Yes! Get in there, Leacock!
Well, I think it's fair to say that the blue touch paper has been well and truly lit.
108.
6th max of the match. Oh, hang about. Hang about. It's getting ridiculous now. Can Tommy Lishman give us back-to-back 9-darters in back-to-back games? He could, you know. He could, you know. Goodness gracious! Wait!
Tommy Lishman.
Back-to-back 9-darters!
Tonight has been living up to the billing we were giving it all week long. And now it's the turn of Robinson and Lishman to finish their campaign. Lishman started with a victory tonight against Sebastian Bialecki. A very impressive 92 average. But since then, he has felt the wrath of Group B. But after losing his first game to NIKO Springer, Robinson has responded with some excellent darts to get 4 points on the board. One of 2 things is about to happen. Robinson will go to 6 points with Springer.
Game on.
Or Lishman will join Robinson on 4. At this stage, you've got to say that Robinson will be the favourite because of the fighting qualities he's shown in his last couple of matches. Winning 4-3 against Duff and winning 4-3 against Bialecki.
Yeah, he's 4-7 favourite. Tommy's priced up at 5-4. But when you have a look at Tommy, he got beat to a 96.74 average and 50% on doubles to Neil Duff. I mean, he was 3 from 4 himself, but did have a 158 finish. And then the other one, he averaged 102.41 and was walloped by NIKO, who averaged 110.9. 0.59, and he was immaculate on doubles, 4 from 4.
57.
That 110.59 average, coincidentally, is the second biggest of the series, and this is week 10. I wonder if someone can better it.
It's only topped by Tom Sykes.
Tom Sykes,
83.
111 and change. Apparently the second best ginger player in Yorkshire. I just want to get your take, Mace, on the fact that Robinson has decided to go back to his original points and flights when he finished the comeback
41
in the Bialecki game with the white flights and the slightly different points.
May have gone back to the practice room and reverted back to these and ultimately felt more comfortable.
Game shot on the first leg, Reese Robinson.
Don't ask us. Just see what Reese is doing.
Second leg, it's Tommy to throw
just
first.
had it confirmed, ultimately
Game
they're 99% identical. They're just a different colour.
Interesting.
100.
Like we thought, it just gives them a slightly different look.
I'm always fascinated to see the individual grips that these players have. And from what we can see, it looks like Reese has got a lot of fingertips on the dart. Maybe including the third finger as well. It might be what we call a 4-point grip.
140.
The majority of players will use a 3-point grip, so it's the thumb, the index finger, and the middle finger. But it looks like Reese is engaging the third finger as well.
55.
As almost like a pivot point on the point itself.
Yeah, my middle finger is like a resting point for the barrel. It just sort of sits on it.
Reese require 127.
Things are going Reese's way all of a sudden. And if Tommy's not careful,
102.
he might find himself
Tommy, you require 125.
in a corner he can't fight out of. He might have to hit this.
Can still do it.
Wow, that's so fortunate. Take it and run, Tommy.
Well, I did go through a spell, NIKO, on 125 where I was going 54, 39, 32.
Whatever works, right? And 25 works there for Reese.
Well, I went that way once and hit it, and then not hit it sort of regularly, but there'd be a shot that if you fancy it, you go that way. And you have the insurance, of course, of the 57 ball.
I used to go 666 on 18.
85.
But that was at a time in my career where I just felt like I could hit double six with my eyes closed.
It is one of those doubles that are sort of height, which is straight down the pipe,
96.
isn't it? You don't have to worry about the weight of dart. It's just the line.
We saw some early frustration tonight for Robinson when he was done by Springer, but
90.
Since then I've got to applaud his focus. He could have folded tonight, but he really has thrived.
123.
And if you can thrive in this company, tells me a lot about where your game is and your mindset.
65.
The words of Lishman earlier. This is the hardest group I've ever been put in. He's not wrong.
96.
So maybe it is a very good thing for Richie Burnett that he's in Group C.
Reach require 97.
Lishman is falling behind.
57.
He's losing ground in the leg difference as well. If this keeps happening, that could be a problem come Friday night.
26. Rishi require 40.
Needs a Paolo. 1 tops.
I mean, back in our pomp, NIKO, we would have relished this, wouldn't we?
Oh, yeah. I used to love a bit of Championship League darts down at Crundon Park. Stick me in there with Taylor and Van Gerwen and Mark Walsh, Kim Huybrecht, Mark Webster. Oh!
60.
That's a deflection and a half.
Require 20.
I think even Reese saw the funny side of that. The only way it remains funny is if he takes the leg, which he does.
Third leg, Reese Robinson.
Yeah, that'd have put a slightly different spin had he hit double 15.
I think Tommy was quite embarrassed
Fourth
by
leg,
that 54.
It's Tommy to throw first. Game on. $81.
What's he got in the menu to finish things off? As soon as he plants that 60 with dart 1, he is thinking 9 darter. That's how he operates.
Yeah, when it goes middle and high, I'm saying 180.
80.
In one of our breaks, we do show when Lishman gets his 9. And when he did, he was using foldable flights.
140.
But he has transitioned to these molded ones very recently. They work.
140.
But because we see so much in the way of darts these days, we can establish behaviours easier than before. And it can't be ignored
100.
that with moulded flights, you do get
more deflection.
bigger deflections.
Yeah, there's no give. There's no way for the flight to pop out there. And these look extraordinarily stiff.
100.
If you're Reese approaching the hockey here, you're thinking to yourself, make him hit that 100.
He's going to do that.
Oh, my word.
Outrageous.
That's an off-the-scale 140. That was just showing off. That may be the best 140 I've seen in a long time. But it didn't make any difference.
Flag, Tommy Lishman.
What a finish. And even Reese Robinson says to him,
Fifth flag,
good shot.
Reese to throw first. Game on.
Something about being from Hull, I guess.
108.
Yeah, I wonder how many times these two have clashed over the years.
Probably lots locally. Tend to have a lot of local competitions in that area.
Your local £300-400 open comp.
$66.
Well, look on the bright side, Reese. You've had 6 trebles to start the leg. Albeit 2 of them are trebles that you didn't want.
140.
I think some people would think it was quite harsh that Robinson didn't get a shot at that double top after that amazing 140. But the quality of this group, I'm not surprised that he didn't.
Nah, when you, I mean, as a player stood behind, you've seen that dart block out the treble 20 and not be in it. You're thinking, oh, happy days, and then you see the first top go in, and you,
60.
well,
Reach require
you look through your hands at it.
$116.
That one was out of left field, but it was so clever.
Yeah, so creative.
80. Reach require.
Now
40.
he does get a shot at tops. What to do, what to do, what to do? Gamble? Gamble.
No score. Tommy, you require 161.
Is it responsible? The odds state that that was the right thing to do. And it turns out it was the right thing to do this time.
21. Reese, you require 40.
Double top again.
Game
This
shot,
time he
and
finds
the
it.
match, Reese Robinson.
And that is a very solid night's work for Reese Robinson. 3 wins from 4. And bearing in mind, he did lose his first game against NIKO Springer. He's just joined him on 6 points in the table. There is a canyon between the averages. But I assure you of this, that was a very accomplished display from Robinson. And he's going to feel very good about his chances of making yet another Saturday night here in Portsmouth. We've got Bialecki against Duff to finish things off. And one of those two people are going to be very disappointed with their night's work. And someone is going to be quite satisfied. This will not be your last dose of darts on Friday, because we will be back from 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So, just a shade over 12 hours from now, we will start the climax of Group C. But this one, in Group B, it is to see who gets to 4 points. Duff currently occupies third. He can consolidate that with a win over Bialecki, and it would keep Sebastian in the bottom 2 with Tommy Lishman. But it may be even worse for Sebastian. If he was to lose, he could go to the bottom of the table.
First leg,
He's the person who was able to beat NIKO Springer tonight.
Game on.
Yeah, remarkable, isn't it? His one real big performance has come against the best player. Outside of that, well, he's been, as we've said on many occasions this week,
60.
A little bit one-paced.
If we see an 88 average in this game from Sebastian, does that win this match?
Not the way Neil Duff's been playing, no, I don't think so. Neil Duff has been very impressive tonight. Started off with an average of 96.74, then a 99.93,
100.
and then a 92.37. So the likelihood, looking at those numbers, an 88 can beat those numbers, of course, but it would be unlikely.
Especially considering Sebastian doesn't have the darts in this match.
Yeah, and then he would have to rely on multiple misses from Neil Duff, who's finishing tonight.
6.
Just we're on the topic, 50%. Then 3 from 5 in a defeat. And then 3 from 3 in another defeat.
60.
For me,
57.
he's played the best of the group on just 2 points. This could well be a fight out between these three for the final qualifying spot. Duff, Bialecki and Lishman.
$140. $59. Neil, you require 84.
Interesting what he does next. It's 88. And it's missed by a country mile.
Sebastian,
I think
you
even
require
Neil has to crack a smile at that one. That was a bad dot. Maybe the one he's least proud of tonight.
$99. Neil, you require 8.
Double 4 to take the opening leg. And this could be a bit of a scrap.
Game shot of first
But we know how
leg,
good Neil
Duff.
is at that. But just to give some more perspective about how much Neil has gone almost
Second
under the
leg,
radar because of
Sebastian
what
to throw
Springer's
first.
done tonight.
Game on.
And at times, Robinson. It's somewhere in the region of a 96 average for the night.
Yeah.
And 63% on the doubles.
Yeah, and it's felt like that, hasn't it?
47.
Obviously, I'm not in an accumulation of numbers, but when you just scan it, you sort of have a mental idea of where you think he is. And I thought he's played brilliant tonight, just to so far pick up the one win.
And I'm not going to lie, right now, Sebastian's perfect record of making Saturdays is at risk.
100.
Yeah, he's under it.
I can't remember a group
125.
this tough because of what we've seen from the first night. This is genuinely a world-class group of players.
Yeah, well, you've got a player joint bottom averaging over 96 for the night.
140.
Whoever we speak to when we come back at 10 o'clock tonight, it's going to be fascinating to get their thoughts of what the banter's been like in the practice room and what people have been saying about how they've played.
76. Neil, you require
Yeah,
56.
you'd pay good money to be a fly on the wall in there.
Don't give them any ideas.
Game
But
shot
that's
on
a good
second
idea.
leg, Neil Duff.
He's picking off legs like it's popcorn chicken.
Third leg, it's Neil to throw first. Game on.
And again, this feels like a very
100.
solid performance so far.
And if Bialecki's not careful against Duff, he could find himself in so much trouble
85.
if he loses to Neil twice today.
Well, yeah, this will be the first game in tonight's session.
140.
Small matter of 15 games before that. And that is a pick'em group.
100.
This is merciless from Duff. He's had this laser-like focus all night long.
This is a player who's got not just today, not just Saturday, but a crack at regaining his WDF title.
45.
It could be a very successful week.
81.
He could be ADC Tour champion on Saturday afternoon and a weekly champion in the same day. And where he's playing, take a very brave person
49.
to refute that.
Not going to be any pressure at all from Seb.
57.
This might just be Neil's best performance of the night. Hasn't moved.
16.
Maybe just needed to shuffle a little bit right to open up the bed.
Well, prior to that turn, he was averaging in excess of a ton, so it just shows you where his game is.
96. Newey requires 16.
Has to go upstairs.
Game shot on the third leg. Neil Duff.
And there's a lot to cheer about up there.
Fourth leg.
Right now,
Sebastian
Bialecki is
Todorov
caught in a whirlwind.
Game on.
Currently doesn't have an answer.
This is more along the lines of game one.
140.
When he was done by Lishman. That was his only victory for the night, Lishman, against Bialecki. But the last thing you need
140.
in your final game of the night is a 4-0 loss. That doesn't put you on the back foot. That puts you on a cliff edge.
100. $95.
Just keeping the pressure. It's like a boa constrictor.
The issue here
91.
is that every leg that Neil wins at Sebastian's expense, he's creating this gap between the two of them
58.
in leg difference
Sebastian, you
that
require
might not be bridged
170.
because of the quality of the group. Just make sure that you take this out in 6 darts. You
132.
don't want to give Neil any hope of that 4-0. Keep it as tight as possible while you still can.
94.
Because if Neil wins
Sebastian, you
4-0,
require
the gap
38.
between them is going to be 10 legs, even though it's only 2 points.
Game
Well
shot
done,
on the
Sebastian.
fourth leg.
Yeah,
Sebastian
rightly
Bialecki.
splits. He had a comfortable enough cushion there that he felt he had
Fifth leg.
time
It's Neil to throw first.
for the 6 double
Game on.
16. This is the key leg on throw. And
41.
only 41.
$96.
Could have been worse for Duff. Back in the lipstick. Loses the line. Recovers.
135.
I wonder how many dart shirts Neil Duff brought with him this week.
140.
Did he bring 4? Or did he bring 3? We always speculate about the positivity of a dart player for a week based on how many dart shirts they bring. And we reference Andy Bolton's washing line when he came to Portsmouth with 6. All lined up on the washing line in uniformity. And it tells you, doesn't it? If he brings 6, it means he's going to play for 6 days. And last week, he did.
65.
He was just 1 game short.
Sebastian, you require 167.
Now Sebastian runs the risk of losing heavily.
60. Neil, you require 160.
But if the pool gets chances like this,
100.
when Duff is on a 2-darter,
Sebastian, you require 107.
he's got to find quality now. Otherwise, he might not throw again for the rest of the night. Double 14. That is brilliant.
Fifth flag, Sebastian Bialecki.
Incredible, isn't it? Just when you think
Sixth flag, it's Sebastian to
done.
throw first. Game on.
He finds a beautiful 107 as a saver.
I don't know what it is in Polish, but there's a very
55.
strong English word that can almost hover around you in moments like that. And when you say it to yourself,
100.
it's very strong. Defy. That's exactly what Sebastian just did.
Yeah, it's a show of defiance, isn't it?
96. $140.
Sebastian might even have to take this out in 6. We don't see that very often here. We don't see it very often anywhere.
60.
It's one of those rare feats that Luke Littler has hit this year. Did it in Bahrain earlier in the season. As well as other things. But that was the risk. When Duff is on 261, he's thinking, I can get this in 6 darts, which means that Bialecki needed 350 in 6.
Yep.
108.
He's just a visit too late for that one.
Nearly require 81.
It's match point Duff.
Boo.
Game shot.
Bingo.
And the match,
Just like that.
Neil Duff.
Pops it right in the middle and puts Bialecki in the bottom 2. So Duff has done a very solid job tonight. It's better than solid. 97.66 in his final performance. And considering how well he's doubled as well, he will not believe the numbers next to his name when we come back for the second session of Group B darts. And he'll have to settle for 3rd position behind Robinson and Springer. But on the bright side, Duff is in a position to make Saturday going into night 2. As for Chris Mason and I, we're going to go over everything we've seen tonight just after this. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, and I know we say it most weeks, but boy, oh boy, that was good. The level of play we've seen from multiple players tonight, and the fact that Neil Duff, who won that last match by 4-2, he averaged mid-90s tonight, if not just a little bit better than that, with world-class doubling, and he only got 2 wins. Remarkable when you think about it. He lost to Rhys Robinson in Game 5, and at that point, everybody was winning with the darts, but the only 4-2 of the night was the last one. Everything else was 4-1 or 4-3.
Yeah, it was an interesting session, wasn't it? I mean, I think he's averaged around about 97 for the whole night, and his reward is only 2 wins from 4, but that puts him in a relatively good position tomorrow. He's can consolidate the final qualifying position, but NIKO Springer as well, all credit to him. But this man tonight, blistering finishing, a lovely way to finish the night off. He looks in good nick. I was fairly assured after spending the last sort of month with him in the seniors tournaments that he looked rock solid, and he's kept that form up.
How good was NIKO Springer's debut? Because we've seen plenty of debutants over the course of 2024. Let's not talk about the whole scheme of things, but let's condense it. Is this one of the best debut days that we've seen this year?
Yeah, I think you'd have to go all the way back to the previous year for a certain young man called Luke Littler. I thought he looked assured. He was mature. When there was issues, he dealt with them very well. There was no emotional investment whatsoever, and every aspect of his game seems to be there. Yeah, listen, it's a sport of fine margins. You're going to go up and down and blow a little bit hot and cold, but that average of 100 and 110 plus was really, really special. There it is. I mean, 4 out of 4 on the doubles, a ball finish in there. There's little to complain about, and when you started to dig a bit deeper, as we like to do, that's not an anomaly. That's something he's done with some regularity.
What about Rhys? Because he lost his first game tonight. His streak of winning consecutive games was over. The way he bounced back, exemplary.
Yeah, I think that took the pressure off him a little bit, because you can subconsciously think about that, and I think in the end that might have been a pretty good thing. And he's continued to play some great stuff. Nowhere near, I don't think, his best, which is bad news for the rest of the field tomorrow.
I'd be really interested to see what Group C think of this, because people watching this group tonight will be thinking, you know, we built it up saying it's going to be fabulous. Nobody really disappointed us.
No, none whatsoever. I mean, Sebastian Bialecki, who we asked for a little bit more, did produce it against the best player in the group, in NIKO Springer. He just couldn't sustain it, and that's going to be something he's going to need to work on over the next coming months, because it's going to be a baptism of fire next year.
Let's have a look at the table and see how it stands overnight then, because NIKO Springer on debut has got the lead on leg difference. It's a nice little cushion as well of 4 legs, something he could utilise. But 6 points for him. Rhys Robinson on the same. Duff in the middle will have the first game against Bialecki, and he could join the 2 at the top on 6 points if he takes care of Bialecki one more time.
Yeah, I think for him it's imperative he gets the win over Seb tomorrow night in the opening game, and then I can't see him not qualifying from that position.
Been really good fun tonight, hasn't it?
Yeah, amazing. Can't wait for tomorrow. Well,
yeah.
Today.
Indeed. Well, it has been fun. We've thoroughly enjoyed it, and Group B will come to a climax in around about 24 hours. But do not miss Group C, because that table is as tightly packed as Group B. Adrian Gray and the clan will be back from 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We hope you can join us then. Sleep well, or wherever you are in the world. Have a fabulous day, and we'll see you in roughly 12 hours. Take care and good night.